Another damn loss to the Green Bay Packers. The Chicago Bears fall to the Packers by a score of 28-19 to drop to 3-10 on the season, and they also gave up the all-time wins record now for the first time in over 100 years to the Green Bay Packers in this game. What's going on, guys? I'm back with another Chicago Bears post-game reaction video, which I'll be doing after every single Bears game this year, win or lose. If you guys want my reaction to each game, definitely be sure to subscribe to my channel. And man, the Bears had this game in the bag in the first half. Okay, they were rolling on offense. They did not punt a single time in the first half. They got up to a 16-3 lead with only I think 45 seconds, a minute left on the clock in the first half. And then after Rodgers finds Christian Watson for that touchdown to end the half, everything changed after that. Okay, so Bears fall flat obviously at the end there, and I'll talk about Justin Fields and his picks at the end and his overall performance, which I'm sure a lot of Bears fans want to talk about because they want to know, if we should be happy after a performance like this, right? Because even though Justin Fields did really well for the vast majority of the game, those picks at the end, obviously he would like back. One of them, though, I don't think it was that bad of a pick. Okay, so the first pick going to EQ St. Brown on that dig route. Okay, so EQ St. Brown is supposed to come back a little bit harder on that ball. Okay, it kind of runs a very sloppy route, and that's a throw where it's an anticipation timing throw. So if your receiver is not there, that ball is probably going to be picked. So I don't want to put the full blame on Fields for that pick, even though he probably could have gone elsewhere, went with the less risky throw, because guys, we've been screaming at Fields the entire year to make these tight window passes more often, okay? Because it seems like he doesn't attempt them too often. When he finally attempts a pass like this, it gets intercepted because his receiver runs the sloppiest route I've ever seen, okay? And Jair gets the game-winning pick. And then after that, it was basically garbage time, okay? The Packers score a touchdown, a Christian Watson touchdown after that. They go for two. They get it as well really easily, keep in mind, okay? So our defense definitely wet the bed at the end there like they always do basically every single game. So bad ending by the defense. They're up by 9. At that point, it's basically impossible for the Bears to make a comeback. Yeah, they could have scored fast, went for the onside kick, but it's not very likely that is going to happen. Now, that last interception, yeah, that was a really bad pick, which it seemed like Fields was kind of just throwing it up to nobody really in particular. There wasn't really a play to be made there. Fields lobs it up randomly. It gets picked pretty easily, and his stats look even worse than they actually were at that point. So I wish that Fields did not attempt that last pass because it makes the stats look even worse than they actually were, because I feel like the first interception was not really too much his fault. The second one, yeah, it was definitely his fault, but he was trying to make a play in garbage time. I'm not gonna kill him too much for that. Yeah, it was a horrible, decision, but it was garbage time. So I totally get, man, there are fans out there that want to put all the blame on Fields for this loss because, again, at the last second, he throws a pick, okay, on a potential game-winning drive. But I think it's a very short-sighted way of looking at things because for the vast majority of this game, our young quarterback looked really good as a passer. And that's the important thing. He looked really good as a passer, not only a runner, because this was probably Justin Fields' best passing performance of the season. Yes, I know the two picks at the end really hurt his final stat line, but guys, he went 20 for 25 for 254 passing yards, a bunch of big time high level throws throughout the course of this game. Okay, the offensive line actually bought him a lot of time today. Okay, so really good game by the offensive line, really good game by Alex Leatherwood, the right tackle that we claimed on waivers, the former first round pick by the Raiders. He played today and he did really well, okay, the limited snaps that he got. He switched in for Riley Reef, I think, every other series. So they'll probably give Leatherwood more snaps going down the stretch because obviously we don't have a chance to make the playoffs anymore. So it makes more sense to play your younger tackle there and see if he has, anything to offer you next year. But, good offensive line play, and Fields definitely made the most out of that good offensive line play because he made most of his plays today from the pocket, okay, with his arm, which is a big time thing again, guys, because it seems like mostly every game this year he's had 8, 9, 10, 11 plus carries on the ground. Today he only had 6 carries on the ground the entire game. Okay, 71 rushing yards. Obviously did break a big one through, a big 55-yard touchdown run in the first quarter, which I still cannot comprehend how the heck he does things like this. He was about to get tackled behind the line of scrimmage. He evades that tackle and just does a mad dash to the end zone. Okay, outrunning 4 or 5 plus Packers defenders, just running right through them, okay, right at them and going in for the touchdown. Okay, so Justin Fields still does things, video game like stuff that I don't think any other quarterback in this league can do besides Lamar Jackson, okay? So you still have that rushing ability available to you. But in this game, again, for the vast majority of the game, I'm not sure if it was because of a shoulder injury or what, but he didn't run as much as he usually does, okay? Only 6 rushes, and he did most of his damage today from the pocket as a passer, which I love to see because, again, he is a quarterback. Eventually, you're going to have to make a living from the pocket passing the football, and he grew big time today as a passer. He had a big time 55-yard pass to EQ St. Brown, the former Green Bay Packer. That was a really good play call, obviously, by Luke Getsy. He torches Jair Alexander somehow going down the field, okay, torching his former teammate, and Fields makes a hell of a throw. Okay, he got hit at the end too, but he delivers a really nice, accurate ball right in the hands of EQ St. Brown. He doesn't have to come back for it or anything, right in his hands, and obviously he got tackled there because Jair caught up to him, and EQ isn't the fastest guy in the world, so that maybe could have been a touchdown with a faster receiver, but regardless, really good throw there by Justin Fields, standing tall in the pocket, took the hit at the end too, and delivered a really accurate ball going down the field like we saw him do so many times at Ohio State. When he has the time, when he has the protection in the pocket, he can do stuff like that. He also had a big time 50-yard pass to N'Keal Harry, which N'Keal Harry, man, made a phenomenal catch for his quarterback. Okay, high points the ball, comes down with the insane acrobatic leaping catch over Jair Alexander. Jair got burnt again going down the field, which is pretty funny to see. He also got the game-winning interception, obviously, Jair did at the end, but he got beat twice too against basically backup level receivers. Like, I'm sure that EQ St. Brown would not start on any other team in the NFL. N'Keal Harry is actually turning into a pretty solid addition by the Bears. So I think that N'Keal Harry honestly could be on the team next year. Like, he's made some big time plays when he's gotten the opportunity, and I wish that we gave him more opportunities in this offense, but I'm sure we'll see more of that going down the stretch now that he made that really good catch. But that's two really good high level throws going down the field on deep concepts, which again, for a quarterback that supposedly cannot throw really well, those were really good passes, okay? So you can see that Justin Fields does have the ability to be really accurate from the pocket as a passer. The problem is we just need more guys for him to throw to, okay? But still, throughout the course of this game, he made the plays with his arm, okay? Every time he took off from the pocket, he also did keep his eyes going down the field, which is a really super important thing, okay? A lot of these times, he could have probably just ran for the first down, but instead, he picked up the first down with his arm, which is a preferred method of doing it because that's how you make a living in this league, okay, with your arm. He found Cole Kmet for like a jumping pass on, I think that was a third down, and he got the big completion for like, I think 20 yards. He also hit, a bunch of other receivers throughout the course of this game for completions on third down to keep the chains moving. And, he did a pretty good job navigating the pocket, sensing the pressure, and, not really leaving the pocket unless he absolutely had to. So really good game, obviously, by the offensive line, but Fields also did really good in terms of, sensing pressure from the pocket, okay, and not taking unnecessary sacks. He didn't get sacked a single time throughout this entire game. So again, guys, you're seeing growth from Justin Fields as a passer. If you only look at the final two picks and say that he had a terrible day today, that's not a really smart assumption to make, because if you watch this game, again, he grew as a passer today even without having really high-level players around him. He's playing with backups, guys. Like, EQ St. Brown would not be starting on the vast majority of the teams in this league. Probably no other team would start him because he's been a depth guy basically his entire career. Next year for the Bears, he's probably going to be a depth guy after the Bears acquire better receivers, hopefully. And even with this ragtag group of receivers, I don't want to disrespect them too much because, again, N'Keal Harry made a big-time play. EQ St. Brown also didn't make a big-time play. But, like, even with these receivers that aren't considered to be high-level guys, Fields had 252 passing yards and only 5 incompletions, which I think should be celebrated. Maybe not celebrated because I know we did lose the game, so you don't want to be too happy after a loss, but you should be very optimistic about the future of this franchise with this guy leading the charge at quarterback, okay? I think he's a really special talent, and today he definitely grew as a football player despite the mistake at the end. So I was happy overall by the day from Justin Fields. I know that some people in the comments probably are going to disagree, but if you watch this game, you have to be optimistic about the future with this quarterback showing so much potential, even with a bad supporting cast around him. Now, talking about Luke Getsy, though, I don't know what the heck that second half was, because he went ultra conservative in the second half, almost like he was intentionally tanking or throwing this game. Because, guys, after that deep bomb to Harry, we're at the Packers' 28-yard line. We have all the momentum on our side. We have the lead as well. We're up by 2 points. If we score a touchdown here, that would really put a lot of pressure on the Packers to come back. But what do? We do a short dump-off pass, which goes backwards 2 yards to Monty, and then we do 2 runs in a row, 2 designed runs in a row, okay, after our quarterback was torching the Packers defense through the air, okay? We got ultra conservative at the wrong time. We missed the field goal then because Cairo Santos had a bad game today, and eventually the Bears ended up losing this game, and that's what happens when you play scared, when you play to lose. And Luke Getsy, honestly, it felt like he wanted to lose this game with his play calling down the stretch. Went ultra conservative at the wrong time, and it cost the Bears big time in this game. Now, I don't want to put, again, too much blame on any head coach, on any individual coordinator, because I do realize the Bears roster right now does not have a lot of talent on it. So yes, you're working with scraps here, but you had the chance to really put pressure on the Packers, but instead you played scared, and that cost you big time at the end. So overall, it was a pretty decent day by the Bears offense, but again, only scoring 19 points, definitely not good enough against a defense like Green Bay, which was really struggling big time recently. So those are my thoughts on the offense. Talking about the Bears defense now, honestly, they played a really good game for 3 quarters, but they choked in the fourth quarter, okay? They allowed 18 points at the end of this game, which I do understand. Again, we don't have a lot of talent on this team, so I can't be too mad. I mean, we had Eddie Jackson missing, we had Jaquan Brisker missing, we had Kendall Vildor missing, we had Kyler Gordon missing. We had so many guys missing on this team, and playing with, guys that most fans have not heard of. Obviously, you're not going to be very successful throughout the course of a game. So allowing only 28 points, honestly, that was probably the best case scenario, because I thought we could easily allow, 40 plus, 50 plus, even with all the guys that we had out. And usually Aaron Rodgers, takes advantage of all the time that we gave him today in the pocket. He did not get touched a single time throughout the course of this game. Not a single sack, obviously, because our pass rush is non-existent. So we gave Rodgers 5, 6, 7 plus seconds in the pocket, and going up against third string guys like, Josh Blackwell, guys like Jalen Jones, who actually played really well today through 3 quarters. He probably should have done a lot better than he actually did. Okay, Aaron Rodgers, he did not really do that good in this game. He's definitely declining, as you saw in this game, because the throws that we're accustomed to seeing him making, he didn't really make a lot of those in this game. He had Christian Watson really do the work for him in this game, and that he definitely did. So again, I can't be mad at the Bears defense right now, because they just simply do not have the talent. I mean, Jack Sanborn is really carrying this Bears defense right now, because he's the only one consistently making plays throughout every single game. He had another fantastic game. He had a diving play that he made in coverage. He had a bunch of really good tackles, a tackle for loss as well. And this guy has a nose for the football. Like, he is a really good linebacker, man. Like, he's really showing that even as a UDFA in his first season. So I think that Jack Sanborn definitely is a guy that you should be really optimistic about going forward. But the rest of this defense, a lot of these guys are not going to be here next year probably, especially the pass rushers, because we're going to be getting a guy like Jalen Carter or Will Anderson at this rate with how bad our record actually is. So I know it sucks right now losing to Green Bay. We can never find a way to beat this team, but the tides are turning in the rivalry really soon, okay? Because the Packers also are not a good football team, okay? They barely beat up on a very bad Bears team that had so many guys out, and their MVP quarterback is definitely declining big time, as we saw in this game. The Bears have a really high draft pick, number 2 or number 3 overall. They have a boatload of cap space. They have a young emerging star at quarterback potentially in Justin Fields. So there's a lot to be optimistic about as a Bears fan right now. Yes, this loss hurts in the moment, but next year it is going to be a different story. Okay, bookmark this video, save this video, whatever. The Bears are going to be beating Green Bay next year, but this year, it was not their time to do it. Let me know what you guys thought about this game in the comments down below. Obviously, we have a bye week next week, so we won't be seeing any Bears football for 2 weeks until the game against the Eagles at home, which is another really tough game. I mean, I honestly cannot see the Bears winning any more games going down the stretch with how tough our schedule actually is. We have the Eagles, we have the Bills, we have the Lions, and the Vikings, okay? All teams that are doing really well recently. So probably won't see any more Bears wins this year, but that draft pick is going to be looking really nice in April. Leave your comments down below. As always, bear down.